Iran that includes them abandoning their nuclear program.
Whatever deal is made or whatever end state is reached creates ensuring that Iran never has a nuclear weapon, which is number one, and he's been focused on that, and the deal and discussions are centered on that.
The U.S. military is helping guide commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has said that those actions are a breach of the current ceasefire. A cruise ship now quarantined after 3 passengers have died from a viral infection. More from CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen.
Jake Rossmarin is one of 150 passengers, including more than a dozen Americans stuck on board the MV Hondias cruise ship. This morning, the World Health Organization said the ship will continue to Spain's Canary Islands after 2 passengers with the dangerous hantavirus are medically evacuated. The cruise ship is currently off the coast of the West African nation of Cape Verde.
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
The virus, which has no known cure, is typically spread through contact with rodents. Back here locally, Walgreens announcing plans to close its 6th Milwaukee location in the last 2 years.
The 27th and North location will close its doors June 23rd, with the company citing, quote, persistent safety challenges at the location as the reason for the impending shutdown. The latest Milwaukee closure comes less than a month after the city's Common Council approved an ordinance requiring 60 days notice if a grocery store or pharmacy plans to close. Alderman Russell Stamper, who represents the location's district, has not commented. Walgreens announced plans late in 2024 to close around 1,200 locations nationwide, citing declining profits. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 345 points at 49,286. The Nasdaq up 218 at 25,285. And the S&P 500 is sitting up 54 points at 7,250. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Saving money on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Whether you're a bird enthusiast or you simply enjoy the sights and sounds of nature, our Enchanted Garden Wild Birdseed Blends will keep birds coming back. Pick up a 20-pound bag on sale now through May 10. View our entire selection of wildlife products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find all of the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Take your mother to the magnificent Mother's Day brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. The spring drive through Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Google, call, and reserve your family table today.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or 2. Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Even after missing the first month of the season with a hand injury, it was a stellar debut for Milwaukee's Jackson Churio. Had 4 hits last night in a losing effort for the Brewers against the Cardinals. Manager Pat Murphy on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Fans have seen it from time to time. Last night's performance overshadowed by the loss, but he was tremendous. He was on everything. He took balls, swinging strikes. That's not so easy. He was magnificent.
Andrew Vaughn also returning from the injured list, but he went 0 for 4 in his first game back. Brandon Sproat on the mound for the Brewers in Game 2 against the Cardinals. All of our coverage tonight right after the 6 o'clock news here on WTMJ. And the Packers adding a veteran quarterback to the roster.
36-year-old Tyrod Taylor has played in 100 games over his 15 NFL seasons with 62 starts. Taylor comes to Green Bay after 2 seasons with the Jets, one of which was spent backing up Aaron Rodgers. Taylor is the only quarterback in NFL history with 10,000-plus passing yards, 2,000-plus rushing yards, 70-plus passing TDs, 20-plus rushing TDs, and fewer than 35 interceptions. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. 4145 northbound. This is right near Watertown Plank Road. Part of the left lane still blocked there because of an accident, kind of scooting you over a bit. Some of those delays, though, have eased up. Off the system as well, we've got a crash. This is Wisconsin 38, right near Bowdoin Street. Part of the right lane is blocked there due to that accident. Some typical delays, 94 east and westbound near the stadium in the construction zone, but nothing out of the ordinary. Everything else looking pretty good. As for your forecast, partly cloudy skies. We could maybe see a shower pop up as we move throughout the day. High getting up around 58 degrees. Tonight, maybe some patchy frost, a low down to 39. Into Wednesday, will be mostly sunny, highs in the low 50s. Thursday, we could maybe see a shower, high near 58. And then shower chances continuing on Friday with a high near 61. Right now, it's 51 degrees in Madison, sitting at 50 in Port Washington, and it's 52 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bride.
That'd be us. That's our cues. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a nice.
How often does that happen?
I don't know, probably once every 7 years.
Probably
6 years.
maybe 6 with the leap year.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I don't celebrate it, but you said you were going to celebrate it.
I don't know if we normally celebrate it, but we have a housewarming party to go to tonight, and so that is the theme.
So you're not dry anything after, you did dry January, right? Is that what you did?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I just made fun of you for wanting to do super wet
January, which I'm
and judging people who want to take a break from drinking.
I'm actually thinking of, this is how I think, because I love to antagonize people who do dry January, because I know they just irritate me. I'm looking for a partner to celebrate super wet January with me, and there's a multitude of options.
Who are your options? Who are your front
Liquor
runners?
companies, bars,
oh, that
restaurants.
kind of partner. Not like an individual who wants to go in on it and drink a lot with you.
Yeah.
You want a liquor partner.
It's the classic all about me thing where I'm going to do dry January. I don't care what the impact is on bars and restaurants that are the lifeblood of some of our culture and economy in Milwaukee. But I'm going to do dry January because I can't control myself in December. Basically, that's the whole thing.
That is not the whole
That is the whole thing. Now, you
think they're doing it actively to sabotage bars and restaurants for drinking less?
They don't have the thought process to understand that that's what they're actually doing, because there is an impact. That's a measurable impact on bars and restaurants.
Yeah, there's a measurable impact on bars and restaurants in general right now because people are drinking less, not just in January, but overall.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't endorse any of that crazy dry stuff. Anyway, so do the May the 4th folks, the hangover they got from Star Wars Day, does that carry over to the Cinco de Mayo?
I don't think May the 4th is a big drinking holiday.
Really? Shot every time you see a Star Wars reference or anything like that? Nothing?
They're just drinking blue milk, Steve.
Yeah, I was unfamiliar with the drinking aspect of May the 4th.
Did you do anything to celebrate?
Did not.
No, you did. I didn't even. You mentioned it yesterday briefly, but that was the extent of my.
We did not celebrate.
Yeah.
I didn't post anything.
No. Did you post anything at all yesterday? I didn't see anything.
No. I need to post our WBA awards. I gotta get some work done today.
Yeah. Well, how come you're so lazy yesterday? Was it just because you were back to work?
No, because I got some stuff done, and then I had to go pick up some ferns off of Facebook Marketplace.
You are like, I'm a landscape guy and a garden guy. You're like all in. I think your mom is.
I'm hyper fixated right now. As far as it's probably a good distraction. It's not a good distraction. It is a distraction from other stuff I actually have to get done.
I'm not going to tell people where you live, but if you happen to stumble by and you see Kristen outside, she is doing some groundbreaking, innovative work in the landscape area, hardscaping in some cases. Pretty significant stuff.
Yeah.
So well done to you.
Thank you.
You've really embraced it.
I finally have a hobby at 39 years old.
Yeah. What took you
Not a cheap one.
What took you so long?
I don't know.
Was it too much about you before that?
Yeah,
now
obviously.
Now you're family focused.
Yeah, totally. All right, what are we talking about first today?
I missed antagonizing you while you were gone for the 6 days. I will tell you that.
I know. I told you I missed you.
Yeah. That's very nice of you. All right. So this is like a common storyline that I'm starting a narrative about. And we've talked about it. We talked about it extensively on the show on Friday with Bill and Joe. What's going to happen in November? Midterm elections, obviously. Governor's race in Wisconsin.
Also, there's elections today in Ohio and Indiana.
Yeah. Well, the elections are an ongoing thing because not all states do it at the same time.
There's a lot of primaries happening because of those state senators in Indiana not wanting to redistrict.
So you shared a story with me, I think it was the Washington Post, about this administration their numbers, well, specifically the president, are at a historic low, like most unpopular president of all time. And Andrew Johnson got impeached. So, that was a long time ago. But this president, and I don't even know what I'm going to ask you in a second, like the MAGA folks, what do you think about is it like the president said yesterday? Polling's fake. Is it really? You don't think Americans think that these things are happening to them? They're like gas prices are $5 a gallon now, exploding all around the country. So basically the gist of the story, at least the one you share with me, is this administration is now thinking about what post-midterms, if it's as bad as people think it might be, and their numbers are all in the red. Like you measure different groups, young voters, Hispanic voters, black voters, women voters, college educated or not. It's like all red. All numbers are red. So what would happen if they lose? They could lose the House. What if they lost the Senate? So they lose both houses, and you got Donald Trump sitting in the White House in the Oval Office thinking, what do I do now? Well, they're actively thinking about this.
Yeah, so there's a new Washington Post exclusive that basically the lawyers from the White House lawyers, are giving private briefings to the administration's political appointees on how to best prepare for congressional oversight, because they're basically saying that there could be, after the midterms, some subpoenas. And so it's 30-minute briefings, and it's a PowerPoint presentation on how congressional oversight works and best practices for handling it. They're anonymous because they did not have the authorization to discuss the matter publicly. But it basically they've encouraged political appointees to be careful about what they put in writing and provided guidance on how to respond to congressional inquiries in a timely manner. This feels like something that no matter who has control of Congress should probably know how congressional oversight works.
You would think. It's part of your job description. Now, I had a fascinating conversation for the Squidiology podcast in a couple weeks with Jim Santel and Matt
that was
O'Neill.
yesterday, right?
Yeah, and we spoke about this issue. The president has basically said, I thought I knew this, but they reaffirmed it for me. He basically said anyone within 200 miles of his administration is going to be pardoned on his way out. I guess that's how you can do it, but there's still going to be investigations because people are going to want to know. If you don't control anything, you could lose the presidency in 2028. You could lose both sides of Congress. There's going to be investigations, and I think maybe, this is just me saying this, based on nothing. I think the president, given he's seeing these numbers and they're having conversations like this, is starting to get, this is not good. It's not good for Meg. Just, I think that the focus on, like today, good news story. They're bringing the President's Fitness Award. That kind of, you're going to see more of that kind of stuff, less of the, for example, he doesn't want to talk about Iran anymore because it's ugly. It's messy. He doesn't have an answer. So he just says, basically it's over. We're just going to let it happen, which is not an answer, which is not solving anything, including gas prices. He's basically just ignoring it and talking about the President's Fitness Award today when we're in a war. So focus on the positive, sunshiny stuff and ignore all the stuff that most Americans are kind of upset about, including the war in Iran, including gas prices, including everything else tariffs, consumer pricing in general. Thank God he's got the stock markets. If he loses that, it's over. You imagine if the stock market, let's say it's at 49, actually just under 49 because it dropped yesterday. Let's say it goes to 39 before November. It's a bloodbath. There's no way to save it because you lose all the 401k people, all the people like me. You've already lost everybody else because the polling, I believe in polling for the most part. You lost all those folks. There's nothing left. Good news for Democrats, including the state of Wisconsin.
It is interesting, though, because there is some polling that shows that Democrats as a party still aren't popular.
Yeah.
And so it just gets us back into this pendulum swing where no one's actually fixing anything. No one, like the general electorate doesn't like anyone. And all they can do is either not vote or vote for the opposite party and just continue to hope for something to get better.
You want to talk about that after the break? Because, you're a Dem. At least you identify that way. Yeah, let's talk about it. Because I'm curious how you see that shaking out. Because, sure, you can have great success on your opponent's downfall, but you have to, capitalize on it. And if you screw it up, then what do you have? She's Chris and I'm Steve. Point taken.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Personal injury lawyers seem like they're a dime a dozen, but Jeff Zergabel and I are not about t-shirts or cartoons. At Pasternak and Zergabel, we focus on serious cases and real results for injured Wisconsinites. We are two of Wisconsin's best injury lawyers. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Our clients trust Pasternak and Zergabel because we show up, we listen, and we fight for you. If you need help, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, fishing season has begun in Wisconsin. Not the ice kind, the kind on open water. That has begun. We'll talk about that with some guides. And we'll take it to Milwaukee for a conversation about bubbler bikes. Cool story, getting around the streets of Milwaukee.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
It is Tuesday on Point Taken. Good to be back in the saddle with my great partner, Kristen Bry, award-winning partner, Kristen Bry.
You too.
Yeah.
Back at you.
Yeah, the station did very well, and one of the reasons you all listen is because you know that we do a great job here. And even maybe important for me is we enjoy doing it for you and with you. So I asked you before the break, and you mentioned it, you sort of teed this up. As much as Republicans are trending down towards November, and Democrats have an opportunity, they have to seize that opportunity. And I'm curious how you see like the consensus, like what their messaging should be, way left, moderates, how does that all play out?
Well, it does feel like the winning thing for everybody is just being laser focused on how much everything costs right
absolutely.
now. And I know we're going to talk about the Met Gala at the end of the show today, but guess who did not go to the Met Gala?
Musk?
I don't know. I don't even know if he was invited.
Probably not. Who didn't go? Trump?
Zoran Mamdani. He said he preferred to stay home and focus on affordability in a city where 1 in 4 residents live in poverty.
It was sort of a bad look. We'll get to
No,
that.
I know. We're going to get to that later. But I'm just saying, as far as I still think that's like, and we're going to talk about that later as far as young people and how they think the economy is doing. But I think that is a message. It was interesting, though, because last week when I was interviewing, I moderated that event, Kelda Royce, state senator, her first term in the assembly was 2009. So she was in office the last time Democrats, at least in Wisconsin, had a trifecta. And I asked her, what would you do differently? Or what did you learn from being in the trifecta the last time? And she had an interesting thought as far as what went wrong, because that was when they didn't. They could have passed banning partisan gerrymandering, and they didn't. And she listed off a couple other things as far as part of the caucus wanting to move on this and part of the caucus not. And she made it sound like back then there was more diversity among people in each party, and so it was harder to sometimes get to consensus as move fully as a party. She, at least in Wisconsin, she thinks that there's more consensus now as far as being able to move in the same direction and get things done. But I'm hearing stuff in Virginia that with the new Spamberger that they have a trifecta, and there's some things that they're not moving as fast on. And is that good? Is that bad?
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that's the case? If you know,
I don't know for sure. This is some like people talking behind the scenes as far as things, as far as unknown, as far as why it's so hard for some of the Democratic leadership to get in sync with Spamberger. I don't know if there's a diagnosis there. But it's like, just because you get a trifecta, just because you get the House and the Senate, doesn't mean everyone in the caucus is going to move in the same direction and move quickly. And so I think that's what people get frustrated with, is that there's all these platitudes as far as, just don't, like, why the other side is dangerous, why the other side can't get anything done. But then once you actually get power, how quickly you can move to try to make an impact in people's lives quickly.
On that point, because we both know people on both sides of the aisle who do the other side is completely dangerous and we should all be afraid. I just don't have any use for that, because the reality is we have two parties, major parties. You have to work together. Generally, that's how it works. Other than if you get the trifecta and you have the right majorities to do something with the trifecta. Again, anecdotal, based on talking to people about politics in all kinds of different formats and situations. I think most people like me, not even just to my age, younger generations, who think like I do, maybe lean right, maybe middle, maybe independents, just wants the work done and less of the squabbling and the nonsense. And the theatrical part is something that we're always attracted to. It's why social media is popular. Mm-hmm. The negative, there's actually there's science behind why, as a species, did you know the science? Because in evolution, the bad stuff kept you, if you were afraid of the bad stuff, it kept you alive. So anything negative was perceived as something that you were always paying hyper attention to. That's why negative thrives on social media. That's the evolutionary piece of that stuff. You can tell I've been reading a lot.
That's why we like bad news?
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Because we have to pay attention closer to bad news, because you could end your life. If you're a early human and you're running across a field, you got to be really aware of where the lions are.
Apparently, that's also why ADHD was, because you could be easily distracted, so you could be looking out for danger.
Yeah. So there's so much to this. To me, again, maybe this is not politically naive. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe it's just hopefulness. I think there's opportunity for people who play in the middle. Because right now, independents, they don't like Trump. They don't like MAGA. I'm not sure they know what the Democrats are doing. That's the group that decides elections.
But how does the middle, I don't disagree with you as far as when you talk to people one-on-one and an eagerness for that. How does the middle break through? How does that message break through when we talk about an attention economy? As you just said, there's more sensationalism, doomerism, whatever you want to call it.
I'm going to give you a surprising answer after the break on how that
breaks through the noise and the blame game. But as far as like the pragmatic, calming, bipartisan, whatever you want to call it, like someone who's actually trying to do reform and move us towards stabilization, I don't know if that's a message that people get like inspired by.
I think my answer is going to surprise you.
Okay.
After the break, point taken, Chris and Steve.
They call it baseball heaven.
Here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Well, heaven is about to get real loud.
2-0 pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyle's back. Track. Bye baseball. Gary Sanchez gets them to their feet.
The Brewers land in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:10. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ. Steve Scavini for QC Kinetics. Are you dealing with pain like right now? Your elbow, your knee, your shoulder, your hip, whatever it is. I had the same thing last year. Tennis elbow, slight tear. Went to QC Kinetics in Greenfield, talked to Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her great team. Medical professionals, the highest standards, but you know what? Awesome communicators. And for me, those 5 treatments changed my life, my physical life, because now I can do everything I did before. It hurt. This is how bad it was. It hurt to turn the doorknob. 5 treatments, all better, all good. So here it is, the basics. The science is real. The treatments are all natural. Your body knows how to heal itself. Regenerative treatments. QC Kinetics gets it, gives your chances of success the best opportunity. No operating room, no hardware. You don't have to watch summer come and go while in pain from a recliner. Get back to the best version of yourself. How about that? Sound good? Start with a consultation, free consultation. All you have to do is call 414-667-5559. QC Kinetics at 414-667-5559.
ACS Group has business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. ACS Group's IT manager, Mark Reinhardt.
I feel James Imaging Systems, being local, I get to meet the people, see the people. They come in and find out what our needs are, and they're just great folks.
great folks who partner with you and your business.
Absolutely. I categorize James Imaging Systems as a partner because they come in, again, sit down, understand our needs, listen to what things are bothering us, obstacles that we have, and they help bring us really cost-effective solutions.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and business technology expertise to help your business do business better.
That's huge for me and keeps us running smoothly, and we're able to focus on other things for this business.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lozica here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer, and it allows my dogs, husband, and I to enjoy our patio every season. Right now, get up to $500 off any awning or screen. That's right, get 10% off up to $500 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Before the break, she said, what's it going to take to sort of bring that message to the folks, independents and others who are looking for, I think, a common sense, logic-filled leader. And this is like ironic that I'm saying this. It's going to take almost a cult of celebrity, somebody that's so, almost the Obama example.
But Obama wasn't a celebrity before he ran.
No, but he was. He became a presidential celebrity. I met him a bunch of times. The dude was he was a movie star president. Let's be honest.
By the time he left,
yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to require somebody that's just captures, because you know this, we're a celebrity worship culture now.
We're going to talk about it later.
So why would we not expect our political leaders to fall into that category?
So do you have someone in mind?
No. But if you have that, and it's not Gavin Newsom, because a lot of people are pointing in that direction. No. He's sort of playing that.
So are you meaning someone who is currently a celebrity and not a politician, or
Yes.
someone who's just super
Yes.
well known?
Donald Trump example.
Mark Cuban?
Perhaps. He's sort of expressed some interest. I think it's going to take that great intellect that's not
The Rock?
He's talked about it too. I mean, you laugh, but
Mark Cuban's a much more viable option, I think,
cerebral, yes.
than
Mark Cuban
than The Rock. I don't know who's smarter, but I'm just saying Mark Cuban's doing some interesting things when it comes to like pharmaceuticals, and I think thinks about he's inserted himself into the conversation around some policy issues more than I've ever seen The Rock do anything with
and a
that.
lot of people would say, how about some of these tech bros?
No.
I mistakenly called some of them idiot savants. It's actually savant idiots. They're actually really smart, but when they're in public and they're commenting on things that are outside their area of expertise, they're actually just, what's the word I can safely use without people criticizing me? Just stupid. I mean, Musk is a classic example. It's like, what are you saying? What are you doing? And there's Sam Altman. I mean, the list is long of these dudes. And so it's mainly dudes, right?
It is mainly dudes.
So if you got one of those, like Mark Cuban, I'm not saying I'm endorsing
The
Mark
most
Cuban.
famous of the women, is she still in prison? Is Elizabeth Holmes out of prison yet?
No, Theranos, the company.
Theranos.
Theranos, yeah, she's still in prison, but she wants to get out.
Of course.
Surprise. She's smart, but she also made horrible mistakes.
Of the major
she lied.
Tech guys, I'm not sure any of the women are the first ones you think of.
It's funny that I was thinking about that as you were mentioning that.
Sheryl Sandberg?
Melinda Gates, right?
Yeah.
She's given away most of her fortune, but here's the ironic thing.
Mackenzie Scott.
Because her nut is still big, she's actually worth more than
So is Mackenzie
when she
Scott.
started. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
This is why we talk about when we say tax billionaires. Literally, Mackenzie Scott has. I have to go to break.
All right.
She's given away so much more money, and she's still worth more than she was when they got divorced.
All right, to be continued. ABC.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. U.S. military leaders say the ceasefire with Iran remains intact, even though Iran's been carrying out attacks in the Strait of Hormuz. And the United Arab Emirates says it's been under Iranian attack for 2 straight days. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth earlier touting what he called the U.S.'s defensive operation to help commercial ships get through the Strait of Hormuz.
American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight. But Iran also cannot be allowed to block innocent countries and their goods from an international waterway.
Tennessee's begun a special legislative session. The majority Republican legislature is going to consider redrawing the state's congressional map, the latest state to act after last week's Supreme Court ruling. Pennsylvania has sued an AI chatbot maker, saying Character AI's chatbots illegally hold themselves out as doctors. The company declined comment on the suit. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Oak Creek police are looking for a man accused of hitting a squad car and pinning an officer. An officer spotted a car without plates. This was at the Red Roof Inn near 13th and College last month. Investigators say a man got into the car and then backed into the squad, pinning the officer and a woman before driving off. The officer suffered a shattered toe. An arrest warrant is out for 31-year-old Antonio McPhee of Milwaukee. A Milwaukee-based company out with a new earnings report, and the results a bit mixed. Harley-Davidson beat revenue expectations for the first quarter, bringing in about $1 billion, but missed on earnings, showing continued pressure on profits. Harley has been cutting prices to boost sales and move inventory, but analysts say the strategy is cutting into margins. The company also dealing with some other challenges, including recent layoffs and a shifting demand for motorcycles. Costco soon going to break ground on its first Milwaukee County location. Site work expected to start this week near 27th and Drexel in Franklin. Costco currently has 5 locations in southeast Wisconsin. A 6th is under construction currently in Oconomowoc. The Franklin location would welcome its first customers as soon as this November. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 267 points at 49,200. The NASDAQ up almost 1% at 25,307. And the S&P 500 up 54 at 7,250. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still have this crash. This is 4145 northbound right near Watertown Plank Road. According to the DOT, still kind of over on the left shoulder there. Not really causing any backups, but just something to be aware of. Still have a crash as well off the system. This is Wisconsin 38 right near Bowden Street. Part of the right lane is blocked there. That's right near the airport. Not causing any major delays. Otherwise, the rest of the system, everything else looking good. Take a look at your forecast. Partly cloudy skies. We could maybe see a shower pop up as we move throughout the day. A high getting up around 58 degrees. Tonight, some patchy frost possible with a low down to 39. Plenty of sunshine expected Wednesday, but cooler temperatures, a high of just 53. Could maybe see a mix of some clouds and showers on Thursday with highs in the upper 50. And then shower chances continuing on Friday with a high near 61. Right now, 51 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 52 in Waukesha, and it's 54 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Get out of the house this summer and head to Road America, conveniently located between Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Bring the whole family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. You can camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in the racing your way. It's more than just a race, it's a full experience. IndyCar is the must-see race coming June 18th through the 21st. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Is it time to replace your roof? Are you looking for a temporary fix like asphalt or a lifetime one-and-done experience with stone-coated metal roofing? This is not a throwaway product. It's an investment that can save you from an insurance claim. To learn more, call Abbey Home today. And if someone asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Right now, get 20% off all metal roofing. Go to abbeyhome.com or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
Hey, Mother's Day is almost here. You don't want to forget your mom, that's for sure. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great way for you to remember her. I recommend taking your mother and grandmother to the Mine Chef family restaurant in Hartford, the most affordable Mother's Day dining destination for over 50 years. They're going to love the Mine Shaft. The Mother's Day brunch is all you can eat and under $26. you're going to pay a lot more everywhere else. It's every dish your mom loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including a delicious beef brisket and a huge homemade dessert table. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area. The Mine Shaft is very affordable and always family-friendly. Your mom can relax with a Bloody Mary, a mimosa, or a nice glass of wine. You'll not spend a lot of money on Mother's Day at the Mine Shaft restaurant in downtown Hartford. It's great food. It's big value. Google, call, and reserve your Mother's Day table today for this very special family holiday.
Let me take a selfie.
Do you remember when this song came out? Or
No.
did this miss you?
I miss
This
you.
was like circa 2014, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a jam.
I was busy being mayoral at that time.
Oh, okay. All right, so we talk about it a fair amount. As of July, in all across Wisconsin, there will be a cell phone ban. But are they working? Well, there is a new study from the National Bureau of Economic Research that lands on a very unsatisfying answer. Yes and no. So the research looked at 40,000 schools from 2019 to 2026 with varying levels of restrictions. So stricter bans like locking phones in the little pouches reduced phone use by about 30%, which is not surprising. But also, students pushed back, well-being dipped, and suspensions rose. But the big thing, test scores barely budged. On average, the impact was close to zero, despite earlier, smaller studies that suggested otherwise. And so it's interesting because cell phones are a problem. I think this is what I take away from this. Cell phones are a problem when it comes to being distracted, when it comes to engaging with your classmates, and not just like immediately going to your phone. But it also seems like there is other things at play when it comes to absences, education.
Of course.
That the cell phone ban doesn't necessarily solve for.
It was never going to be the panacea or the fixer of all things. It's hey, if I see 30% less usage, good, because it's not disputable that excessive screen time by young adolescent brains is bad for them.
It's bad for all of us, honestly.
Adults too, and I always caution you on that.
I know.
I scold you as your
That's why I'm
non-dad to not do that. And
I can't hold my phone while I'm gardening.
You cannot get outside, touch the grass, smell the fresh air, enjoy the fresh air. Just on this, couple things. Teachers are happier. I don't know where everyone works, but if you're happier at work, is it arguable that you're going to be better at your job? So that's sort of a plus. I'll take that any day of the week. It's a plus for me that kids are not on their phones as much. I think this is a work in progress. It's a piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
When we talked to Clustered Morgan, or I talked to Dr. Howard Fuller last week for another edition of my podcast, there's a lot of things that go into the secret sauce of making kids learn. This is just one: reading, fundamentals, focusing back on fundamentals, making kids safe in schools. You think kids are excited about going to school? They could be killed in a mass shooting? Anybody pay attention to that story? Or are we just going to pretend it's not a problem, which is what America's done for, 40 years? Maybe that's part of the problem. So nothing is going to solve everything. And we are such a instant gratification society. There's got to be pushback. I noticed in the study that kids are more irritable in the period after they get their phones removed because it's disruptive. They're used to doing that. When they're not in school, they're on their phones constantly. I can't tell you how many kids I see anywhere, out in the 3rd Street Market Hall, wherever I go, kids are on their phones.
Well, we're all on our phones, right? There was,
I guess,
but I mean that was what was interesting, being in the nostalgia of being in my high school last week, right? Of walking into Madison West and noticing the changes structurally that they've made, but also the memory of what we did all day without having our phone to distract us and like looking at it and walking down. Like you actually had to look up when you walked down the halls because you had nothing to look at, right?
Yeah.
You were actually just like seeing, like scoping people out and seeing who was scoping you out. And it was a very different experience than what kids have now. But it was also interesting because when I asked this question to the social studies government teacher that I talked to at Middleton last week, because they've had a phone ban. So they've had a phone ban that predates what's going to happen in July. But he was like, ultimately there's also, when there's a will, there's a way. Because if you have a MacBook which some of these kids don't use the laptop that they're given. They have their own personal MacBook, and you have iMessage on there, so you can text on there. If you have an Apple Watch, there's all these other devices that's different than just your phone that kids can find and get away. And like as soon as they're out of school, they're back on their phone. So it's not foolproof as far as bullying, as far as some of the impacts that social media is having on their brains. But at least in school, like this isn't me arguing that like, oh, well, it's not working, so get rid of it. I think there are some, like, depending on what you're solving for, there's reasons to keep it in place.
I'll take it just for the screen time drop.
Yeah.
That's the big one for me. Here's my question, our question. It's going to happen in Wisconsin. July 1st, I think, is the start. Do you want your kids, are you upset that it's going to go away? Do you want your kids to have access to their phones in the classroom during educational time? If that's your demand or your want, make the argument in a text why you need that. And you don't have to tell me emergencies, because that's the one that people are going to, I get it, but we've always had emergencies. Now they've spiked up in the last 40 years for the very thing I said earlier. But how do you think calling your kid in school is going to change that situation? Are you giving them like first responder advice because they've already been trained in that? Every damn school now has, unfortunately, mass shooting training. I guess fortunately or unfortunately. So that your parental wisdom is probably not going to do much other than get to a safe place. Thanks for calling. Or you can maybe.
Well, I think not to be morbid, but I'm pretty sure it's to say goodbye.
Really? I mean, come on.
Do you not think that's what? Have you ever never?
You think parents are calling they hear them they're calling their kids to say goodbye?
I think the kids are there's.
Why would you assume they're dead? First off.
Well, no, but as far as every time that there is a text that goes viral of a child who was in some kind of mass shooting, they're texting their parents like, "I love you," and they're like keeping them up to date. So I don't think it's about like the parents necessarily knowing that they're going to have the right advice.
What happened with mass shootings before there was cell phones?
There was a lot less of them.
Yeah, I suppose. If that's your motivation, tell me.
No, I'm just saying that I don't think it's about I don't think parents' motivation is because they're going to have the right thing to say. It's just in that moment they want to be able to get a hold of their kid because of course they do.
So then you'll never get rid of cell phones.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that it's not I'm debunking your argument of why parents want their kids to have a cell phone just so they can give them advice.
I want parents to tell me what their argument is.
Okay.
855-616-1620. If that's it, tell me, because I'm more than happy to hear it. I think at some point, what was the story I didn't get to last week? There's a country, they're just going to not allow kids to have smartphones to like 16 at all. No access. I think it's Greece. They're debating it.
Really? Greece?
I'll check it during the break.
Okay.
At all. Zero access. Not going to get it. You're not going to be able to legally carry a phone.
How do you enforce that?
I have no idea. Maybe that's why they haven't enacted it.
Carding 18-year-olds who look young?
Who knows? Because we know that kids are already cheating in the states that already banned these things, already cheating around the system by just putting them. In one case, they have a photo ID, and you put a fake mustache on. You pass the photo ID, you get access. That's the kind of stuff. Kids they're not stupid.
They're not stupid. I will say that.
Even though test scores are not improving, they're not stupid. Trust me. Quick break.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
George and Gracie, a love story. Playwright and performer as Gracie, Tammy Workentine, and James Pickering, who will be George Burns.
George borrowed $400 from Gracie, and he spent $260 on flowers. Gracie eventually said, anybody who would spend $260 of my money to buy flowers for me has got to be in love.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Geist, trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door or opener problem or any situation with your garage door or opener get in your way or get you down. Call my friends at Geist today, GEIS, with brands like CHI, LiftMaster. They have doors for every budget and even build custom. I saw some of the custom designs at their showroom in Brookfield. Absolutely spectacular. No matter what it is. Standard garage door, fancy ones, custom made. Their openers, their opener room, trust me, cameras, app technology, it's state of the art. So any problem you're having with your garage door or your garage in general, you can visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield or just go to geiststores.com. So don't think twice. Call Geist, GEIS, geiststores.com.
What do you want retirement to look like? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For some people, retirement means travel and new adventures. For others, it means spending more time with family or pursuing passions they never had time for before. But turning those goals into a reality takes thoughtful planning. It's not just about saving money. It's about designing an income strategy that supports the life you want while helping your savings last throughout retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families connect their financial plan with their lifestyle goals, building strategies designed to help support both today's needs and tomorrow's opportunities. My complimentary retirement toolkit can help you begin that process. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and retirement strategies. Call 414-897-9522 or text the word tax to 414-897-9522 for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word tax to 414-897-9522. Because retirement planning isn't just about numbers, it's about the life those numbers support.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
My name is Sherry, and I'm a real client of Gruber Law Offices. Gruber Law Offices took care of everything so I could focus on getting better. I only really did one thing, and that was call them.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
During the break, I was looking up just some polling evidence about how parents view cell phones and the crackdown and stuff. And not anywhere near to us, but Massachusetts, 2/3 of parents support the bell-to-bell, so start to end of your school day, crackdown on cell phones in public schools. I think at some point, given what we've seen on the impact of screen time, mental health, that's a whole other conversation, the impact on that exposure to bullying online and even in their kids' bedrooms because they take their phones to bed with them now in some cases. It's destructive. And there's even now evidence, real science, that says it's impacting their brains, in especially younger kids, under 10, under 12, as they try to develop those brains to be functioning adults, that excessive screen time can really cause havoc. I think it's inevitable that we're going to have these crackdowns and they're going to go away in some form or format. Now, whether the Greece example is going to play out.
Did you find out if it was Greece or not?
It is Greece, but
okay.
I didn't have a chance to look at the story. It's a pretty bold idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically saying no.
I just don't know how you
the enforcement's always how do you force anything? You have to have rules and you have to have some form or fashion to enforce. Ultimately, they have to figure that out. It does seem extreme, which is probably why Greece is struggling with it, at least the debate about it. I don't know if there's any other example, unless texters have an example of that a country has done that. We have like a mishmash in this country because some schools, as you said, they've already had this. Not a school situation, but Kathy went to, I think it was a Journey concert in Vegas. They take your phone away from you and put it in a pouch.
Well, there's a lot of like different comedy shows do that, different concerts do that.
I know it's
but
a protection for them.
There is a trend now of phone-free places.
Yeah.
Of like bars and restaurants and parties where you have to either put it in a jar. You know what? I heard a good one yesterday. Well, maybe it wasn't yesterday. It was over the weekend. But a group of guys in Milwaukee that go out to dinner, and the first person who grabs their phone, they all put their phones on the table, and the first person who grabs for their phone has to buy dinner. And the first night they did it was at Carnivore.
Oh, wow. Yikes.
and so I was like, oh, I like that rule. I mean, maybe not all of dinner, but like as far as the acknowledgement across the board that I think we're having as far as our phone addiction, no matter what age you are. And I told you, did I show you this yesterday? So fascinating at Middleton High School. Every week in their library, they put a poll question up, similar to what your poll questions were. And it's a this or that. It's just 2 options. And forgot what last week's was that they were still voting on. And so you come in and you put a little chip in which bucket you vote for. But the weeks prior, where they had also posted what the results were, was, would you rather live without heat and AC or live without internet?
That's a good question.
And remember, these are teenagers, current high school students that are voting.
They said internet.
That they would rather live without which?
Yeah, they would rather live without heating and AC than they want their internet.
75% said they would rather live without internet.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm telling you that there is, like, it was so surprising. And I'm telling you that there is more of a understanding that this screens and technology is not necessarily good for us. It is hard to break that habit because we become so reliant on them. But I think that more than you think, people are like, I need a break.
Kathy and I were eating at a restaurant, Wolfgang Puck's at MGM Grand in Vegas when we were just there. It's not a fancy restaurant. It's a very affordable Wolfgang Puck's restaurant, trust me. I look over at the table. There's 8 adults. I think that it was a realtors. Every one of them was on their phone. And I nudged Kathy, she says, get over it. Is it wrong for me to be disgusted by that? You're out to dinner. How is that communicating? Or how is that even fun? You're all on your own phones. Am I too judgmental?
A little bit. I mean, in more things than just that. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute.
Oof.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination. With a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Couple days left. Salute to service and nomination period. Then we get into the fun. So next week, we're going to play all of our honorees from last year, each day. And then Heroes Week is the following week, where we tell the story of first responders. But I need your help. Text the word SALUTE, SALUTE to 855-616-1620. I've been going through some of them, starting to make some phone calls. I need more information in some cases. Just tell me the story in your words, why you're nominating someone. police, fire, dispatch, EMT, medical health professionals, nurses, doctors. There's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle, and I've done a lot of mental health experts. Just had a great one submitted a couple days ago. But I need more nominations. I want to make sure we have the best honors week that we've ever had. Thanks to Waterstone Bank for making it all possible. But I got to get those nominations in by Friday so I can sort through all this stuff, because Jazz and I, put these pieces together. It's going to be a very busy next week as we sort of sort through the stuff, get all our presentations ready for Presentation Honors Week, where they come in studio, last half hour of the show, Kristen and I, the honorees, sometimes their family, we take pictures. Just, it's amazing.
It's very fun. I had a great time last year.
Yeah, and their stories are so awesome. So text the word salutes, 855-616-1620, or if you're on WTMJ.com, our great website. I think we won Best Website at WBA's as well, yeah. You can find the banner right on top, Waterstone Bank, Steve Scavini Salutes and Service. Just click on it, takes you right to the form, answer a few questions. I may call you to get more information, so that's the process. Get those in by Friday, and we'll do the rest. All right, come up the next hour, young people. We've talked about such a critical piece of the future of this country, obviously, because they're going to be the future leaders and everything else that they're not doing already. Smarts, we can have that conversation, but they are struggling, and that's the point of the conversation. They're telling us there's a problem. Will we listen to them when they say that? Because new polling suggests it's pretty bad. We'll sort through that mess after the news, which is next.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. At some point, you stopped calling it pain, and you just started calling it normal. Talking about that joint pain in your knee, your shoulders, your back. It's just normal to live with that pain now, right? Well, deep down, you know that's not okay. It's time to get back to the person you were. Active, carefree, and up for anything. It's time to call QC Kinetics and learn about their regenerative treatments for joint pain. There are clinics right here in Southeast Wisconsin, in Mequon and in Greenfield, and they're helping patients with pain from arthritis or injury. Those patients are back moving now, sleeping, golfing, running, without surgery or long recoveries. The time is now. No more watching summer come and go. Get back to the version of you that doesn't map out a route based on where you can sit or avoid stairs. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics today.
Mark Reinhardt is IT manager at ACS Group. Mark, your company has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for years. Right out of the blocks, would you recommend James to others?
Yes, I've had nothing but a great experience with James Imaging Systems, and I would definitely want to share that with others.
A great experience in what way?
I think it's just a personal touch. They actually listen to our needs, walking our business, and finding out what solutions we need to do our job better.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation, adding up to more bang for your business technology dollar.
Yeah, we are absolutely getting a return on investment on the dollars we're spending with James Imaging Systems.
Mark, safe to say ACS Group is happy?
Very happy with James Imaging Systems. People are smiling.
Put a smile on your face with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
They call it baseball heaven.
Here at Ford Stadium in St. Louis.
Well, heaven is about to get real loud.
2-0 pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye. Baseball. Gary Sanchez Sanchez gets them to their feet.
The Brewers land in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:10. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Just after 11 o'clock, it's 55 degrees, partly cloudy, slight chance for a shower with a high getting up around 58. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. A former Pewaukee school bus driver on trial this week, accused of sexually assaulting children on his route. Prosecutors say video evidence shows 63-year-old Thomas Felser having multiple incidents involving young victims on the bus. In opening statements, the prosecution telling jurors Felser abused a position of trust.
I'm confident at the end of this trial, when you've heard the interviews, you've heard the testimony, you've seen the bus surveillance, you'll find the defendant guilty of all 11 counts.
Felser's defense team arguing the video evidence is unclear and maintains his innocence. The trial expected to run through this week. Police in Kenosha have a suspect in custody after an overnight standoff. Officers say the situation began Monday night during a domestic violence call and then a suspect firing shots at officers. No officers were hurt by the gunfire. The suspect then barricaded himself inside a home near 50th Street and 14th Avenue. After several hours, officers moved in on the home early this morning and arrested that suspect. An overnight fire on Milwaukee's east side, destroying 2 homes.
At this time, we're still going defensive in the original fire building.
That's scanner audio from Broadcastify. Crews called just after midnight. It was near Newhall in Newport. Crews arriving on scene, they say one of the homes was fully engulfed, the flames then quickly spreading next door. Everyone inside was able to make it out safely. Cause of that fire still under investigation. During a proclamation signing in the Oval Office this morning, President Trump making a few brief comments on the war with Iran.
The president reiterated just how close Iran was to having a nuclear weapon.
Maybe we wouldn't all be here right now. I can tell you the Middle East would have been gone. Israel would have been gone.
And then Europe and the U.S.
Because they're sick people.
He says we're not going to let lunatics have a nuclear weapon.
The power of a nuclear weapon is something I don't even want to talk about. It's not going to happen, and we have beaten them badly.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Health experts still trying to trace the source of a viral infection that has killed multiple people aboard a cruise ship that's now anchored off the west coast of Africa.
It's thought that the Dutch husband and wife who both died of hantavirus infections brought the illness on board with them. Still, says Maria Van Kerkhove of the World Health Organization,
passengers have been asked to remain in their cabins while disinfection and other public health measures are carried out.
The death of a German tourist aboard the same ship has not been firmly linked to hantavirus. The MV Hondius left Argentina in early April for a month-long cruise through the South Atlantic. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ NX Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow was up 262 points at 49,200. The NASDAQ up almost 1%, sitting at 25,308. And the S&P 500 is up 56 at 7,256. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-939-2525. That's 800-939-2525. 800-939-2525.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. It was the season debut last night for Jackson Churio after being on the injured list for a month, and a pretty strong performance. Reached base all 5 times, had 4 hits, but it was a losing effort, the Brewers falling to the Cardinals in Game 1 of the series. But manager Pat Murphy says it's certainly good to have Churio back on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Fans have seen it from time to time. Last night's performance overshadowed by the loss, but he was tremendous. He was on everything. He took balls, swinging strikes. That's not so easy. He was magnificent.
Andrew Vaughn also returning from the injured list, but he went 0 for 4 in his first game back. Brandon Sproat on the mound for Game 2 for the Brewers and the Cardinals. All of our coverage tonight right after the 6 o'clock news here on WTMJ. Green Bay Packers also adding to their quarterback room for the backup to Jordan Love, adding veteran quarterback Tyrod Taylor. Packers releasing quarterback Desmond Ridder yesterday. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We had that crash 4145 northbound right near Watertown Plank Road. It was off on the left shoulder, so that it looks like everything is good there now, so no issues. Typical delays 94 east and westbound. I shouldn't say delays, kind of slowdowns in our construction zone. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Otherwise, everything else looking pretty good.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Take your mother to the magnificent Mother's Day brunch at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. The Fox and Hounds Supper Club. Google, call, and reserve today.
Your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy skies. We could maybe see a shower pop up as we move along, a high getting up around 58. Tonight, some patchy frost will be possible with lows in the mid-30s. Mostly sunny for Wednesday, but not a whole lot warmer, only a high near 53 tomorrow. Partly cloudy, could maybe see a shower Thursday with a high of 58, and then partly sunny, but maybe a chance for some showers Friday with a high near 61. Right now, 52 degrees in Madison, sitting at 52 in Kenosha, and it's 55 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Deal Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken and young people. So, what do you consider young, Steve, at your age?
Under 30.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Under 30. What do you consider me?
I don't know, not
Am I
young.
middle-aged?
Well, technically, I think you're what is it? You're 39, right?
39.
Yeah, 35 is like the start of that, right?
Is it?
35 to like 55?
So
yeah.
40 is not the new 30?
34 to 50? Yeah. No.
Anyways, all right.
No, I would say you're very youthful in how you approach things. So you probably are not actually participating in the middle-age environment yet.
It's fine.
That's as nicely as I can say it without smoking.
All right. So there was a survey recently that asked 18 to 24-year-olds, so this is younger than under 30, how they viewed the economy. And 8 out of 10 said it was either bad or terrible. Not very good. So in the 25 to 29 range, 52% said the economy was bad. About 3 in 10 said it was terrible, and a combined percentage of 81% viewed the economy negatively. Only a mere 2% in the 18 to 24 range and 1% in the 25 to 29 range said that they view the economy was excellent.
So you've heard me say this probably, and other people like me, white older men, get a job. But now the problem is it's a tough job market.
For entry level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unless you have a better solution, we need to figure this out for young men and young women. They need to get jobs and at some point support families if they choose to go that route. And right now it's not working out. The part that really scared me, 2% in the 18 to 24 and 1% in the 25 to 29 rated excellent. That's like non-existent in this sample of people. And, we talked a lot about how young people they could be election deciders because as we saw, young men, white men went for Trump big time in last election. That's a part of this as well.
But that's what was really interesting. So I talked to, stop me if I told you this already, but maybe people listening didn't hear me say it. So we'll say it again. When I was in Madison a couple weeks ago you were in Vegas, and I was there for a panel on Gen Z, their political leanings, and it was pollsters and researchers. And John Della Volpe, who's from Harvard and has been doing the Harvard Youth Study or Youth Poll since 2000. So he's seen my generation and the generation under me and their political leanings, sways, trends. And he's done thousands of focus groups, and he's talked to thousands of Gen Z. And one, he definitely reflected this, that in almost every single focus group he does, there's someone in there who's either been homeless or someone very close to them has been homeless, which is shocking to me. But as far as their lived experience being economic strife, he said this comes up in every single focus group. And second, in that sentiment, as far as like our young men moving to the right, he says in his conversation that he's had with people, it's less about their ideology moving to the right and that they just saw what they felt under Biden and they just wanted to change. And so it was more that they took a chance on what Trump could do versus their ideology around, gun control, climate change, women's right to choose, all these other things. They were just desperate for a change in their lived experience as far as it comes to like financial stability, that they were willing to make that vote. And it's not like an adherence to right-wing politics.
And here's the political reality of that. New jobs, job creation under this administration, dismal.
Yeah.
Way lower than the previous administration that those voters were ticked off about. So you have that going on. You have an economy that's pricing them out of being able to be on their own or moving out for their first time. They can't afford it. So and this is something that I've talked about before in more of my old show, when they decided to make kids eligible for their parents' insurance if they lived at home until 26. Another factor that sort of prevented them from the term that people use is spreading their wings. It just allowed them to stay home longer, which I don't think was a positive. We can have a whole medical conversation about that and healthcare conversation. So there's factors working against, but if we don't figure this out, there's always a core number of jobs and a core number of industries that need workers. And our population is declining. So if we have that on top of my group aging out and young people not finding jobs, who's doing the damn work? You want to really have a recession / even worse? Don't figure this problem out. And after the break, we should talk about some ideas that maybe might work here.
Do you have ideas?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of.
Well, do you want to talk about the structural decline of just like the
labor force? Yeah, let's do that first, then I'll give you some ideas.
Okay.
Some hope.
Oh.
If someone listens, and it's debatable whether anyone listens to me or not. She's Kristen, I'm Steve. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
I'm Kristen Bry. He is Steve Scafidi. And I think my brother sent this to me this morning. Similar to what we were just talking about as far as young people, like 81% of young people in the recent survey saying that negative feelings about the economy. But it's a little complex. So it's for data for the people, and it's looking at the difference between unemployment tells us who's looking for work but can't find it.
Yes, actively looking for work.
But that is a different denominator than labor force. So labor force tells you how many people are even in the game looking. So they right off the bat, they give an example. I think it's a county in Alabama that has the same unemployment rate as the county that Las Vegas is in.
Clark County.
So it's these two with unemployment rate, both like 5-ish%, which is above the national average, but two very different cities as far as job prospects go, are two very different counties. And so if you're only looking at the unemployment rate to talk about the economy, you're missing a big piece of the puzzle, because this new data, so data for the people, they looked at a county level labor force trends over the last 20 years. So in 2010, 8% of counties in the whole country were in what they're calling structural labor force decline. By 2025, that number was 32%. And so if you think about it as a fact that like more supporters, if you have more people just leaving the labor force in total, you have less people supporting businesses, less people supporting school enrollment, less local tax revenue, less police and fire budgets. So all of these downstream impacts of people getting older, people moving out of these towns. And you just see, can we put the, Jazz, can we put that up? So if you're watching the YouTube right now,
it's up
they have a visual of what counties, and you can see where the red is. So text watch to 855-616.
Like the middle of the country's red.
But I mean, also, because of like the hyper green, there's plots in 2010, you can see Florida, Arizona, Colorado, parts of Texas, California, Oregon, Seattle, areas that are hyper green and what they're calling hyper growth. And then you fast forward 20 years-ish, I guess it's more like 15 years. How much red? I mean, I don't really see even a single area. We talk about how much Dane County grows in Wisconsin, and on that map, it doesn't even count as a hyper growth.
So what does that
county.
suggest to you?
I mean, what it suggests to me is a similar trend as far as what we talk about wealth being concentrated at the top and it not actually trickling down, because there are people. And so it's like this cycle of people. I just had this conversation with a guy who runs the Northwoods Policy Institute or something, Northwoods Policy something, of different towns. And I always think of Wisconsin Rapids because of my tie to Wisconsin Rapids, but I think there's probably much more dire examples than that of they're just crumbling because
They're
there's
in
no
a world of
people
hurts.
there.
The population is declining.
And how do you ever get people to move back to those areas? Or is the expectation that everyone's going to, in order to survive, you're going to have to attract and move closer to urban centers?
One of the answers is innovation, doing something differently than we've done in the past. Part of the reason you mentioned wealth inequity, it's also for generations we've sent kids off to four-year universities getting degrees that they can't even get jobs in or got paid nothing to do those jobs. That's probably not sustainable, and I think it's leading to some of the problems we're seeing here. After the break, I'm going to talk about some of the ideas that I have. They're not my ideas. I did a little bit of reading on it. There are ways you can approach this, but Texter nailed it. If you're not thinking about what AI, not only what AI can do, but what AI can't do, that's an opportunity because AI can't do everything. AI is not going to come to your house and fix your heating and AC. AI is not going to fix your plumbing. It's not going to fix a lot of things. It can do things on the administrative end and certainly on the all the things that make up a company, payroll, all those things, management, but it can't do those jobs. So that's sort of the answer. But this is, I think, a legacy of we're not thinking, we're a very now culture. We don't think ahead. And this map change in, 20 years?
This is 2010 to 2025, so
yeah,
15
years. That's stunning. I mean, you see that red there?
But it also
That's a
shows, this
disaster.
is what we're talking about with the Met Gala, is just like the Hunger Games of it all.
Yeah.
And that there is just areas.
I got it, you don't.
Yeah. And that there is areas and there are groups of people who have more money that they know what to do with. And then there's so many areas that are just crumbling.
I've had so many debates about Elon Musk over the last 2 years with friends of mine. I'm not arguing he's not smart, but culturally, he's illiterate. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He is going to be the first trillionaire on the planet. You can't even spend $1 billion basically, unless you're buying a country or what I'm talking about. The people that have that kind of wealth, you could never possibly spend $1 trillion. And we're going to have Elon Musk, who again I think is culturally illiterate and probably has some other things that are scary. Maybe a drug addict, ketamine addict. You want him to be leading the way on this stuff? I don't. So we can worship AI and all these, again, tech bros, and it's mainly men. They're going to lead us to the happy future? I don't think so. So that's the warning sign. Stuff like this should scare the hell out of everybody. And if you have a child who's in that age group, 18 to 24, 24 to 29, I read the text. Not sure their kid's ever going to get a good paying job.
Over own a house, everyone to have kids.
Yeah.
They feel like they can't afford them.
So that's a burden that not only the child, their young adult has, but the parents also have that burden. It doesn't make for a healthy mental health situation in our country either, because we're all stressed all the time. And you throw a recession or worse, I hate to be the spreader of doom and gloom because that's typically not me, but man, that is scary stuff. Some ideas for potentially figuring these things out after the break.
Meet Jim and Rita.
We went on a motorcycle trip.
But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident.
They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital.
Sometime later, Rita made a discovery.
She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there?
And amazingly,
he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's.
And I had my checkbook in my hand.
But when he arrived there,
and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty.
Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty.
It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty yourself at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
John Mercure
Here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Get the look you want for the home you love with 0% financing options available. So you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2026.
Wisconsin's morning news is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
State battles over congressional maps continue.
Eric Bilstad.
Wisconsin drivers are feeling the pain. Those gas prices keep going up.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Oh, we got still some debris on the ramp from southbound 43 to westbound 94 in the Marquette. They may have to close off some lanes.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's morning news on WTMJ.
All right, so we have the situation. The labor force is just mismatched across the country. We are losing people they're basically giving up. They're not even in the job bank. They're not going to actively seeking work. They're just there. In many cases, they're living not a great life. We talked about the polling numbers that say young people have a very pessimistic view of where this economy is going, and I don't doubt their belief in that. So the old standard was go to the trades. So I talked to some people that push trades and work in the trades. They're like, a lot of people say that we have a high standard, and there's a lot of
It's hard
work.
to get into a union
It is hard.
sometimes, right?
It's
not
a
like
real
you just
time
anyone
commitment.
can do it.
Yes.
And sometimes there's not enough room because, right, they don't necessarily want an oversaturation to then like lower their own wages.
It's often a one of, two of, and that's the most people we can handle. So that's not now. If you're interested in that, knock yourself out. There are jobs available. And the big one that I used to be in PR, and I used to work for a company that did a lot of welding work. That's still a very lucrative job. If that's your thing and you want to work in that sort of industry, well paid, great benefits, knock yourself out. I think you have to start thinking to the point I made before. AI is going to do a lot of amazing things. I'm not an anti-AI guy. I'm sometimes concerned how people use it, and I have fears about sort of what it does on the internet and when we can't tell what's real and what's not real. But you should be definitely thinking about how AI changes the workforce and job availability. What AI can't do is immediately where you should be looking at yourself. The other thing is often, at least going back to my high school experience, when you were a junior, you started talking to your guidance counselors. That process has to start earlier. I know parents want their kids to be everything. They want them to learn everything. They want to know everything. But if your kid has an inclination one way or the other earlier, middle school, let's start them on the path to having a functional idea, working idea of what they want to do in life. Doesn't mean they have to commit to it, but understand it doesn't have to be go get a liberal arts degree at wherever. Maybe that's not the best plan. Some people that'll work for them.
Which is hilarious. What degree do you think is going to be useful in the future?
For a 4-year school?
Yeah.
Communication. You're still going to need communicators. Communication is the key to everything.
So what do you see as liberal arts compared to communication?
I don't want to offend anybody because there's a lot of people that get those degrees. I don't think it applies to the real world when it comes to jobs, and you don't make a lot of money doing those jobs. You define it for me. I'll tell you.
Well, no, because I just think that there is, if anything, the humanities, thus
I'm not saying they're not important. Trust me.
Is what's going to continue to differentiate us from AI. And so there's a whole generation of kids who were told, go get a computer science degree, and now entry-level computer science, like the jobs those would have been applied for, is like, well, we don't need junior coders anymore because AI can just do that.
No.
And so the critical thinking, the actual like understanding of how things work is actually like what humanities can teach you.
Yeah. I'm not anti-humanities. It's very critically important.
More useful that AI is going to be harder to replace.
But you got to match that desire, that education to a real job that's going to pay you money that's family
But what are the real jobs going to be?
Again, a mass comm degree, you can actually make money in mass comm. Any communication job, you can work in companies, you can do PR. There's a lot of things you can do that actually are well-paying jobs if you're smart enough to be effectively.
So you don't think AI is coming for PR jobs?
I don't think so, because AI is interesting. Well, we don't have enough time, but AI is an interesting idea. It's still not there yet. That'd be my talk on AI.
Okay.
ABC.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Recent attacks between the U.S. military and Iran does not mean the ceasefire's over, says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at today's Pentagon briefing. On restarting more military action, General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
The threshold of restarting is a political decision above my pay grade. What I'll say is it's more low harassing fire right now. It feels like Iran is grasping at straws to try to do something across the southern flank.
Pentagon officials say under Project Freedom, the U.S. military escorted 2 American commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. No word if insurance companies will greenlight more. Gasoline prices will keep going up until the Strait opens, says Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy analyst.
If the Strait remains closed, into the month of June, I think by July 4, we'll be at all-time record highs.
A new Rolling Stones album called Foreign Tongues comes out on July 10th. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. A man wanted for hitting an Oak Creek police squad car and injuring an officer. An arrest warrant now out for 31-year-old Antonio McPhee of Milwaukee, who now faces several felonies, including recklessly endangering safety and fleeing an officer. The charges stem from an incident that happened last month when an officer spotted a car without plates. This was at the Red Roof Inn near 13th and College. Investigators say a man got into the car and then backed up into the police squad, pinning the officer and a woman before driving off. The officer suffered a foot injury. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius has a budget ready for the school board. The proposal adds 150 teachers and over 130 paraprofessionals and gives all employees a raise, but it also comes with previously approved job cuts, about 50 administrators and 50 assistant principals losing their positions. Caselius says the proposed budget addresses a $46 million deficit. The school board will hear the proposal later this week, and then a vote is expected later this month. Another Milwaukee Walgreens location soon closing its doors. The company telling WTMJ its location at 27th and North will shutter on June 23rd. A spokesperson says that a persistent safety challenges were some of the reasons the location is going to be ceasing operations. Customers can continue filling prescriptions at that location until it closes. Patients also will be eligible for free prescription delivery for 90 days. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the green. The Dow is up 267 at 49,209. The NASDAQ up almost 1% at 25,300. And the S&P 500 is sitting up 57 at 7,258. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Everything's moving along pretty nicely. We're seeing a couple of typical slowdowns in some of our construction zones, but really nothing out of the ordinary. No crashes to report, so everything looking good. As for your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy. We could maybe see a shower pop up, a high near 58 degrees. Tonight, some patchy frost with a low down to 39. Mostly sunny on Wednesday with highs in the low 50s. Partly cloudy, some shower chances on Thursday with a high of 58. And then partly sunny, but we could see a few showers on Friday with a high near 61. Right now, 52 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 54 in Waukesha, and it's 56 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Axis Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Into the gala we must go, we're ready now, we're all aglow. Into the gala, let's go in and have
I heard Gala in the song. I don't know if that's fitting. This is a Broadway song, right?
Is this a Broadway song, guys?
No, it's from My Little Pony.
My Little Pony, wow. I vaguely remember that from my kids' younger days.
Well, I knew that. What are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts on the Met Gala?
I could care less.
I know.
Yeah.
That does
I'm
not
doing it because you want to
surprise
talk
me.
about, because you actually have a good point to make about it, which I do care about.
Well, and I've never been. I like the Oscars. I will say I like the Oscars because of the movie aspect, and I do think that there is something to be said as far as celebrating, especially the people who are not the main actors, but the set designers, the makeup artists, and the people who really make a movie. Because you always think of the movie just as the stars, but it's such a team art. And I know the Met Gala it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for fine art. But every year I feel like this topic comes up. And every year it is like the Hunger Games, dystopia, as we talk about just like the haves and the have-nots. Because I think every ticket is like $100,000. The outfits are just walking art. But yet we've been sitting here all morning and all of the morning shows have covered it, right? And it is on my social feed starting last night. There's lots of the dresses and who wore what. And but also there's a lot of discourse over the fact that there is this massive divide of like the K economy and the haves and have-nots. But on top of this, it already was an opulent event. But this year, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Santos Bezos served as the lead sponsors and honorary chairs. So it drew even more ire than usual of people boycotting, protesting the event. And I didn't realize this. There's an activist group called Everyone Hates Elon.
Yeah.
Which I did not know until
Maybe I should join that group.
reading about this.
Although I don't hate him, I just don't like him.
And they called for a boycott. They also placed about 300 bottles of fake urine.
Yeah, what's the significance of that
The
exactly?
Metropolitan Museum of Art, because it was a nod to the conditions for Amazon warehouse workers. Who have to pee in bottles because they don't have a bathroom break.
Got it. Okay.
But the critics are questioning, like, basically with this funder, or these being the Bezos being the lead sponsors for us, when they've also done mass layoffs at the Washington Post, growing perception that he and his fellow billionaires are not paying their fair share of taxes, and a donation to Trump's inauguration fund that was $50 million. Oh, and they also, the Melania Trump documentary. And so I just, is this an escape for people? Like, what is the continued draw to this? Because there is always this backlash, and it brings out these really, like, a juxtaposition of mixed feelings of it's celebrating high art and it is going towards a good cause. But it is also just this, like, opulent wealth on display.
Look, money for the fine arts, absolutely. This stuff, it's so silly because I'm just looking at, I saw this on one of the monitors, I looked it up. Actress Sarah Paulson. She's done a lot of stuff. She's
Great actress.
She has a dollar bill, like, glasses on, and it's a protest against wealth. But you're going to a gala that is all about wealth. I don't get the...
Well,
this
was the AOC criticism from a couple years back.
Yeah,
where she
same
wore that
thing.
dress and says, was it eat the rich or tax the rich?
I don't know.
But it was like, well, you're there. I mean, her ticket was donated and the dress was donated and all these different things. But it is, it is just this weird thing that we're attached to. And I don't know if this is the same as like how the Brits have the royals, where there is this culture of like being able to judge and aspire to and have this like class of people that is a distraction from our daily lives. But it is just weird because you have people who like can't even afford gas and groceries right now. And then this is like the main story on all of the morning shows this morning.
We're a celebrity culture. They love celebrities. And, whether it's the dumb Kelly Ripa show, that's all they do is present these people, even when it's not this time of year. Most celebrities, when you meet them, are just real people. They're normal people. Not all of them, but most are just like, but this stuff, it seems to be like this cult of celebrity, which I don't like, where someone has to carry you up the stairs because your outfit is too cumbersome.
Washington Post did a whole investigation on how do people pee in those dresses. And it sounds like their initial reaction was they didn't want to talk about it. Like a lot of the designers and stuff wouldn't answer their calls as far as talking about how any of these women actually go to the bathroom. And I guess one of the answers they got is like they just don't drink anything all night, so they don't have to go.
The phrase that I use is read the room. Well, read the country.
Well, and some people did, right? Like I said, Zohran Mamdani did not go, which doesn't surprise me. Zendaya, who usually is there, did not go. Bella Hadid opted out. And so but then there's obviously like a lot of people who you would expect. Beyonce was there, Rihanna was there. I guess Mark Zuckerberg went, but didn't walk the red carpet. Heidi Klum was there.
She went as a statue.
Yeah.
Well, she's almost old enough to be a statue now, so whatever.
She still looks amazing.
Shout out to Heidi Klum. I have no use for it. I didn't watch any of it. I seen it pop up on the monitors. I like the idea that we should talk about it because it's culturally relevant. Because in the midst of all things we talked about on this show today, they don't seem to be bothered by them. And I'll say this: the richest people in the world are rapidly approaching the title of the most hated people in the world. I guess you could say that about the Rockefellers and some of those names from our country's past. Were they hated like this? I don't know. I guess we'll have to do some more research.
I feel like there was more. Think about how many buildings and stuff we have named after them because there was more of a undercurrent of actual philanthropy and stuff that was built, and not like none of these people give enough away to move the needle, and if they do, it's in their own interest. And
it just seems superficial and fake to me.
It just feels like history repeating itself.
Yeah.
Like this can't last forever as far as the direction that we're headed in.
No, something has to change. And, we've had resets in our country's history a lot. So this, as my guests on my podcast always remind me, we've done this before. It's a different version of the same thing. It's cyclical. And maybe we're, in the era of a celebrity presidents and a culture that worships celebrities. Maybe this is sort of the area, and then we kind of get off that for a while. I'm sick of these idiots, and then just go back to like regular politicians who actually do the job and don't focus on getting on TV and radio a lot. Maybe that's how it's fixed. I don't know. Maybe that's optimistic. Don't know.
All right,
but it matters. You should care about it. That's the only context I would have talked about the Met because you had a good points to make.
Yeah, I don't really care about it. I'm not going to.
Would you go if they invited you? You probably go.
Ooh.
You probably go.
See, that's a hard question because as me, like I would never get invited. I also don't care enough about fashion to ever.
But they come to you. You're not designing it. Someone says, "Hey, would you wear this?"
No, I know, but I think like a lot of the people who get invites are also people who like clearly care about fashion. But it's like, would you go just for the experience of what the hell it's like?
Yeah, no.
No, you would
no.
you not?
And I just as a little kicker, because I guess apparently I'm into attacking people. This worship of is it Anna Wintour?
Yeah.
She treats people like crap, and we're gonna worship this woman?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, stop. What is that about?
Are you gonna see
odd. She's
Prada
odd.
too?
No, of course not. She's odd looking. She acts like a weirdo. No thanks. That's a definition, a walking definition of the problem we're talking about. Just weirdness. We celebrate weirdness apparently now. That's on a scale of 1 to 10, she's minus 100 in my book.
Okay.
That's how much I don't like her.
How much do you actually know about her?
I saw the first movie. I know who she is. Vogue. I know what she does. See, I'm aware.
You saw a fictional movie where
I know her storyline.
Meryl Streep played a character,
Pretty
and
close.
now you're projecting. How do you?
Pretty close.
All right.
Are you arguing she's a nice person?
I am arguing that I think you are making some major leaps
you
right
are
now.
out on a limb saying she's a nice person, but go with it if you want to.
I didn't say that.
You are arguing. You're sort of arguing that she's a nice person.
No, I am arguing that you are making some major leaps in your assumptions.
You know what
about
I'm doing
her.
here? I'm just trying to get you riled up.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, quick
break.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve 50 Milwaukee weight loss. Just talked about this with somebody yesterday. I lost 45 pounds last year, another 10. Hello, up to 10 this year. Milwaukee weight loss, doctor developed, easy to follow. That's sort of the kicker for me. Helps you lose weight fast, naturally, safely. No drugs, no injections, no serious side effects. None of the gimmicky stuff. Reset your metabolism. Those 3 words changes everything. I talked to Homer about this because he also does Milwaukee weight loss. Totally resets your mindset when it comes to food, how you eat, when you eat, all those things. It's the answer to weight loss. You can lose up to 20, 30 pounds in a month or 2 to get you started on your journey and then stay that way, up to a pound per day. But here's you have to start somewhere, and you have to book a free consultation. Have the conversation. You just go ask them about the program, what's involved, can I do this? They have unbelievably great coaches. That's what worked for me, works for you as well. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's Milwaukee Weight Loss. Check it out.com.
I want you to imagine this scenario. Your home has to be evacuated in 5 minutes. You can only grab one item, something from your home that truly matters. Imagining all the pets and the people get out. What would that be? Did your brain go to something right away? These are what we call passion assets.
And learn how to preserve those passion assets. Wednesday, May 6th at the Red Circle Inn in Neshota. Click events and reserve your spot at annexwealth.com.
When it comes to the last frontier, nobody knows the great land like Princess Cruises, and our Alaska sailings are ready for you. Princess has been the leader in Alaska for decades, taking more guests to Glacier Bay National Park than any other line. At Fox World Travel, we specialize in pairing you with the perfect Princess itinerary to see North America's highest peaks and most incredible wildlife. Join the hundreds of Wisconsin travelers who trust Fox to get them to the heart of the wild. Secure your stateroom today. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers, strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Hey, the Kentucky Derby was this weekend.
Did you watch?
I did watch just the race. I didn't watch all the lead.
What
There's
a
like
race.
hours of,
Way from behind.
And we'll mention after. I have a short clip. It's part of a longer thing that CBS did on a really fun story. And then I definitely want to highlight the winner and the trainer because that's a
ceiling.
Groundbreaking story. So here's a little bit of that piece.
Saturday, Bob Y. had attended 79 Kentucky Derbies in a row. His first, he says, was in 1947.
To the sport of kings, 47 brought one of the greatest of all Kentucky Derbies.
This would be his 80th.
Okay, Mr. Bob, here we go.
When we got to Churchill Downs, the troopers escorted him in as a VIP. Bob was wheeled to a seat directly in front of the leaderboard with an unobstructed view of the finish line.
So just a short little clip. I encourage you to check it out. And if you send me a text, I'll send you the link. They set him up perfectly. He's dying is basically the story. But it's unprecedented to go to. Like they were talking to people that work at Churchill Downs. They have like 30 years in a row. 80 years in a row. It's unprecedented. And they set him up so nicely. And I always love stories about people doing nice things for nice people. But the real story of the race is from this weekend is a woman for the first time is the trainer of this. And it came from last to first. Funny tie-in, though, because Bob picked her horse.
He did?
In a trifecta, his grandson won $60,000. Isn't that wild?
Oh, wow.
That was the kick. We were going to play it the whole thing, but we didn't have enough time. So he bet the horse, her horse, which won, first time a woman trainer's ever won the Kentucky Derby. And
the
his
video
grandson,
of her watching the win is really,
it's such
really
a great story.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But also the jockey who won, wasn't his brother also racing?
I think so, yeah.
And so it was his first win.
Yeah.
It is interesting because I have such mixed feelings about horse racing. Because I know that there's like a heritage there, and I know that like we talk and there's a lot of history, but it's also, I don't know, it also makes me feel kind of uncomfortable.
I like horse racing. I used to go to.
Have you been to the Kentucky Derby?
No, I've never been, but I used to go to Arlington in Chicago, which is now torn down for maybe a Bear Stadium, maybe not.
Or maybe Indiana.
We took the whole family down, grandkids, and we had so much fun watching the horse races, and I'll miss that. And I used to bet the horse races in Vegas for years. Went to Caesar's Palace, sat in their sports book and bet the races in the afternoon because it's a quiet part of the day. I miss that too. But what a great story. Just people doing nice things for nice people.
My parents went when they were in their 20s, and they drove down with like barely any money, and they came back with like 4 cents as far as trying to drive down to Kentucky. And then, but my mom she was down here this weekend. She reminded me, it was when they went when they still had people on the inner circle.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll never forget. She was on my dad's shoulders, which reminder, my dad's 6'8", so she had a very good view.
She's seen
everything. She goes, when the horses ran, the entire earth just shakes.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, they don't even let people down there anymore. But she's like, I'll never forget that feeling.
It's whatever your thoughts on horse racing. It's just an incredible event culturally, and it's just amazing. It's some amazing storylines over the year. But
do you care about the outfits at Kentucky Derby?
Not really. No, just like the race. All right. After the break, we got to talk newsletter. After the break.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, former FBI Director James Comey indicted by federal prosecutors for a second time.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
King Charles opened his address to Congress with a personal touch. He also praised our U.S. lawmakers. He said, I come here with the highest respect for the U.S. Congress.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Schiavone for Lake Lawn Resort. I've been going there for decades. Used to have business meetings there. I went on vacation, hung out. If you haven't seen the renovations and the sort of new stuff going on out there, try 1878 in the Lake. Great restaurant. Ate there a few months ago. Fantastic. Great view of Delavan Lake. Maybe golf at Majestic Oaks. Did it last year. Loved it. No matter your skill level. Unwind at the incredible, I haven't done this yet, the incredible Calidora Spa. 2 miles of shoreline along beautiful Delavan Lake is absolutely spectacular. On a sunny day, it'll melt your mind. It's amazing. There's always something to do, or if you just want to relax, every option available to you at Lake Lawn Resort. See why everything is simply better at the lake. Plan your spring getaway, summer getaway, fall getaway, whatever it is, at lakelawnresort.com.
June 2022, southeast Wisconsin. A distracted driver killed 3 people. And in that single moment, it affected many more. The grandmother.
And my heart sank. Their lives are forever lost.
Pastor.
That was the most difficult day of my entire ministry.
Sister.
I lost my best friend.
Distracted driving affects everyone. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
ACS Group has business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. ACS Group's IT manager, Mark Reinhardt.
I feel James Imaging Systems being local, I get to meet the people, see the people, they come in and find out what our needs are, and they're just great folks.
Great folks who partner with you and your business.
Absolutely. I categorize James Imaging Systems as a partner because they come in, again, sit down, understand our needs, listen to what things are bothering us, obstacles that we have, and they help bring us really cost-effective solutions.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and business technology expertise to help your business do business better.
That's huge for me and keeps us running smoothly, and we're able to focus on other things for this business.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, a couple quick mentions here. Our newsletter is fantastic. Even though I'm biased, I say that people that read it, they love it. It's we've got a new platform. It's easy to read. It's fun to read. It looks amazing. The graphics are cool.
I also promised that I put a picture of my hardscaping
which is
this weekend's newsletter.
Very innovative. And you did the right thing. You like checked at other people's ideas and you kind of took the best. That's how I learned how to do a lot of the stuff in the garden. I watch videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You learn things. So text the word extra, EXTRA, to 855-616-1620. It takes you right there. It's fun. You can actually tell your friends. There's a subscribe link or share it link, so do that. And lastly, salute to service. Our nomination period ends Friday, so text the word salutes. I know I'm asking you a lot in the last minute here, but SALUTE. Got a couple yesterday, got a couple more fresh ones this morning. I need those stories because this weekend we nail them down to the 5 honorees. That has to happen pretty quickly here, and the whole process kind of moves forward thanks to Waterstone Bank. So all of that's in a minute and a half. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. Yeah? Busy?
Yeah. Got a short show tomorrow. I think we're out at 11:40 for Brewers. But more talking. More news.
I like Talking
more takes.
Tuesday.
Talking Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
All right. Chris and Steve, 620 WTMJ.
Roll out the winning this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Have a barrel of fun with your